What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we are back here in the basement for another review of Round 4, Sydney Swans versus the Port Adelaide Power in this amazing back-and-forth match. Before we get into it, please subscribe, hit the bell notice, hit the like button, drop some comments down below as you Aussies always do. I appreciate every single one of them. I certainly do. So, in this game here, also you'll find the link to this short video in the comments below as well. It's really the last kick of the game, which was really the last kick is the icing on the cake for how incredible flip-flop game this actually was. A lot happening in here. Sydney comes into the game after getting their doors blown off last week by the Melbourne Demons. They were more than happy to get back home where they won 9 straight at the SCG. Now the Port Adelaide Power not only got blown out last week, they got blown out the week before, the Collingwood and the Crows respectively. So they're looking to save some face, saying that our big win over Brisbane a few weeks ago wasn't just a fluke, that we actually are a real team with real players and we can really come out and show some players how to play this game. That we know how to play this game. Guys, Aliir. He has to be the player of this game, does he not? We'll get into that in a minute. Aliir has to be the player of this game, not only for what he did at the end of the game, but for what he did during the game. I'll get into that in 1 second. But most importantly, Paddy and Tom McCartan, mainly Paddy McCartan, suffered another concussion in this game. Now, I looked up a little past on Paddy, and he has suffered through concussions in the past. He's gone through rehabs. He's fought really hard to get back into this wonderful game of footy. Guys, I'm learning this game. There's a lot of things that I do in the game that I try to learn, look up things. Some I get right, some I get wrong. Paddy McCartan, when I saw him have that face plant when he was going for the ball on the wing with Tom Marshall, it didn't look that serious. It didn't look that serious when his face hit the ground. It kind of rubbed on the ground. You guys saw the game. Tom Marshall and he were fighting for that Sharon. So Marshall didn't really do anything out of the way. But when you saw McCartan starting to get up and Paddy was trying to get up, it looked like he was hit way worse than actually shown. So as his concussions from the past, you guys can let me know. From what I looked up, I know he's rehabbed himself back in the game. But has his concussions been so bad that even a light tap, a light hit on his head, can put him in a concussion like that? Then he shouldn't be playing. Concussions are serious over in the NFL as well. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, he got banged around twice this year. He should have never been allowed to come back in the game a couple weeks after his first injury. This is serious stuff that can be not only career-ending, it can be life-altering. So all the best out to Paddy. I hope he makes a full recovery. I don't think we'll be seeing him probably for the rest of the season. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. But if a light blow like that didn't look that serious, can cause that much damage, and that means he's never been fully rehabbed to begin with. So prayers, thoughts out to Paddy. Tom, his brother in the second quarter, also suffered concussion to who? Tom Marshall. And just a little footnote here. After Paddy went down, Blakey went right after Tom Marshall on my old accidentally on purpose, where it make it look like an accident, but it's really on purpose. He gave Tom Marshall a nice shot a little bit after that after Paddy went down. Blakey gave him a nice shot, just to let him know that he didn't appreciate what happened over there. Even though the play itself, Tom, if you really look at the play, really didn't do anything to Paddy. They were going for the Sharon. So I didn't think anything happened in there, but I do respect the fact that teammates stand up for each other. And I believe that's what he was doing, especially knowing how much Paddy has fought to come back. So shout out to Blakey for looking out for his teammate, even though Tom did not do anything intentional to him. Now, crazy. Swan scored the first 4 goals in this game. The first 4 goals. Latham got the first goal after. Now, was this a ruck contest problem? I'm learning that there are ruck contest rules because, what's his name? You guys know I take my notes and I pride myself on not looking at them as much as I can't. Don't want to, but I do have them. Lycett? It seemed like Lycett hit Latham after a ruck contest. Was that the reason why there was a violation? Because he didn't look like he did anything that serious to me. Again, I'm learning. I don't know. My observations showed that it didn't look that serious, but Latham ended up with the first goal for the Swans in light of that hit. I'm assuming it's a ruck contest violation, and that's what happened there. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys always do, and I do appreciate it. So he ended up scoring the first goal of the game for the Swans. Port Adelaide didn't even score a goal until into the second quarter, deep in the second quarter, and we'll get to that. But I'll tell you, with the two defensemen out, Tom and Paddy McCartan, Amartey had to move from his forward position back to defense, which isn't his normal position, but they had to find some type of sync to happen into this game. The Swans actually, everything that happened in this game and who they're missing, to come down to the wire the way they did and actually have the lead at the end of this game the way they did toward the end of the game. Toward the end of the game, they had the lead, and I'll get to that in a minute. But to be missing them and getting back to Aliir, there was another player missing from the Swans, Buddy Franklin. Buddy Franklin, the 4-time Coleman winner, was missing from this game. He played in it. He was just missing. Why? Aliir was all over him. Transitions on defense, closing the gap on Franklin, 16 disposals, and he had 12 interceptions, Aliir. 12 interceptions. He shut down Buddy entirely, and as I understand it, I did a piece on him a few months ago when I'm just learning this game. I've learned that Buddy Franklin's one of the greatest players to ever see the game when he played for the Hawthorne Hawks with Cyril Rioli. A couple other great other players over on there. I know Luke Hodges over there as well. Buddy Franklin shut down in the game. I know he's a little bit older, but Aliir shut him down. Shut him down the entire game. Big ups to Aliir. He has to be the player of this game. Has to be. So Buddy Franklin was missing. The McCartan brothers were missing. Swans had to gather everything together. That second quarter, they were outscored 27-10. Yeah, 27-10. So it actually ended up being 30-30 at halftime. Wow, that's amazing. And no quarter in this game was close. It flip-flopped. Kept flip-flopping back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. There's a couple key things that happened, though, that I found quite interesting. Heaney tackles Williams. Help me on this. He tackles Williams in the second quarter. Williams has the ball. How does Heaney get the free kick? Why did he get the free kick? It looked like he was holding him down. Looked like Heaney was holding him down. So why does he get the free kick? Is that a prior opportunity? Is that what that is, a prior opportunity? Is that the penalty that happened there, that he gets a free kick? It was a little odd. I didn't understand how that happened. I have the Watch AFL app. I was watching the game, and I didn't understand that. I had to replay that a couple of times. So that is what I didn't get. He's holding him down. Why does he get the free kick? Is it prior opportunity? I go through some of the rules on here to find out exactly what's going on. That's my assumption. It sounded like that's the way it went down. So that was a good one that happened there. I want to know why he had that free kick. It ended up being a behind. And then we have the two score reviews in the second quarter. The two score reviews. Meade's goal was called no goal because they figured it was a touch. It ended up being a behind. When you leave things up to the refs for reviews, it's all subjective. It's what they feel. It didn't look, some angles it looked like he touched the ball, some other angles looked like it didn't touch the ball. Regardless, it ended up being behind and not a goal. Now, Peppers was not a person touching it. It was the goalpost. They were wondering if it hit that goalpost. Pepper's goal was also the first goal of the game for the Power. It was the first goal of the game for the Power in the second quarter. It was a little bit more than halfway through the second quarter when that happened. It was a great, quick, bang, bang play. Bang, bang. Pepper put that through the goal. It came very close to the goalpost, but it didn't touch it, and they ended up giving him the goal for that. So that put Power on the board with goals, and that was the only goal they had started off with before they went 27-10. They only had one goal in the third quarter. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, jumping into the third quarter, Latham, here's the other part. Latham gets a mark. Latham gets the mark. Now, did he step off the line? From my learning, it seemed like he stepped off the line because everybody stopped, and then all of a sudden Finlayson tackles him, brings him down. I'm wondering, and he gets the free kick. Now, is that because Latham stepped off the line when he had the mark? Is that what happened there? I'm not too sure. So, again, I rely on you guys to let me know. Because Latham's kind of stood there. He looked at the ump. The ump gave him some sort of signal. And then Finlayson was on him he was on him. Brought him right down. And he ends up with the free kick. And, of course, scores the goal. So, that put Port Adelaide back in the lead after that play there. There was little things in the game like that. A lot of free kicks. A lot of stuff going on like that. Those two score reviews were huge in the turn of events in this game. I notice now that no lead is ever safe. No lead is ever safe. The Swans were taking off in this game. And then all of a sudden, it's 30-30 at halftime. So I do see that it's a tale of two halves, tale of two quarters. Sometimes it's a tale of just a few minutes. The game has such swings. I love this game. I love learning it, and I love you guys following along with me as I learn this game. So that happened there. Now, the Amarty hit on Francis was interesting to me as well. Because when Amarty, this also resulted in another free kick. Now, Amarty's hit kind of seemed to me, this happened in the third quarter. Amarty's hit on Francis, it's like he hit him and then it's like his arm came up and wrapped his neck. It wrapped his neck, but I don't think that was his intention going in. But to protect head injuries, I'm noticing the AFL is a lot like hockey in the NFL, where they're protecting head injuries, where those two sports is very common. So even if it incidentally happens that way and it wasn't on purpose, not accidentally, it just happened that way. It was coincident. It wasn't on purpose. Amarty put a good shot on Francis, and his arm kind of wrapped around his neck, so it results in Francis getting a free kick. Now, just for the Power fans, does Francis not have a great leg? Does he not have the strength in his leg to make it all the way to the goal? Because Rioli ended up getting the ball and kicking getting the behind after that. So I found that interesting as well, that hit. There's a couple of calls in here that seemed a little, ticky-tacky. That's the term I like, ticky-tacky. Like, was it really that serious? I guess it was. So Amarty got hit for that, and he was giving Francis the free kick. But Francis didn't look like he had a leg. Or was he trying to kick it to the middle? I would think he's trying to kick it to the goal. But anyway, Rioli ended up with the behind, and that's how we moved forward with that. So that put them up 19-17 at the 9-minute mark. Now, this is where I thought it all came together for the Swans, and this is where I thought the Swans were going to take off in this game. Heaney made a tremendous specky. You guys know how much I love the specky. Tremendous specky on Jones. No, not on. Heaney made it, on Drew. He made it on Drew. Gets the ball, moves it right down the corridor, gets it all the way up. Pass goes to Florentin, not directly from Heaney, went to another player to Florentin, kicks the goal. Tie game 38-38. Then they really took off. Really took off after that because Port Adelaide only had 8 points in that quarter. Swans had 22. So, during that time, Heaney's specking on Drew. They jump up, Florentin and Hill. Yeah, the momentum's turning in their way. Turning their way. Swans are going to go up. They're going to dominate in this. And, big shout out. End of the third quarter is 52-38 Swans. So I really believe that that's what catapulted them. Momentum. Momentum is huge in games. People don't believe in momentum. It's some mystery thing. No one can prove it. It's not something you can see, but you can feel it from the crowd. Again, we get into the crowd. People that say, well, fans aren't part of the team. They're not on the payroll. No. But if the fans aren't part of the team, then what is the advantage of home field then? Fans are part of the team, so we do have the right to say, we won today, we lost today, we suffered a tough one today. We feel it like the players feel it when we lose. We're elation when they win. So yes, we feel that. So the home field, the momentum, everybody's on the rise. Swans are kicking butt. Then in the fourth quarter, another reason I thought that the Swans were definitely going to take this away. We had a kick in here. Great kick by Jones, going straight through the goal. Great defense by Rampy. Great defense by Rampy. Turned it into a point. Just a point. That was huge. That's where I was like, all right, the Swans are winning this game. Momentum's in their corner. Momentum is huge right now. They're going to get their 10th straight win at the SCG. That was extremely impressive. Extremely impressive defense by Rampy. That's where we feel this is going to go. Now, it gets even crazier after that. Crazier. Parker, it looks like he pulls down Rosie's arm. Looks like he pulls down Rosie's arm. Rosie gets a free kick. Rosie gets a free kick and was able to pull them now to 58-54. Looked like a little bit, well, if you really look at the play, Parker did kind of pull his left arm down. The left arm of Rosie kind of got pulled down a little bit. He got called for it, interference, what have you. Rosie ends up with a free kick, bringing them 58-54. Amazing. So at that point, the last 10 scores between the two teams to that point, with the Swans up 58-54, the last 10 goals, You had 2 goals and 4 behinds for the Power, and you had 2 goals and 2 behinds for the Swans. At that point, the tide is turning. Fourth quarter, Power did win the fourth quarter, 28-12. The tide was turning. The Swans were trying to keep it together. This is where missing the McCartans on defense really came into play, and Buddy Franklin just not being in the game at all. But the defense missing really came into play. Marty did not, just not his position. It's hard to knock a guy that's trying to help his team. It's just not his position. So this is where this really did come into play, and we can talk about injuries around here. Fans like to find excuses why they lost, excuses why we win, what have you. Injuries happen to everybody, but there are key moments where it actually is legitimate, and missing these 2 guys really came into play at this point. So, McAtee for the Francis hit on Blakey as well. Came after McAtee took the Power to the lead 60-58. 60-58, McAtee put the team up 60-58. They got the control. The Power's really starting to take off now. And this is all getting down to the nitty-gritty minutes, man. Now we're getting down to 6 minutes, 5 minutes, that sort of area. Power takes the lead 60-58. Wow. Wow. So, after that, Francis hit on Blakey. What are you doing? Now, on this one, was this over the head? He kicked it over his head. I was trying to understand what was going on there, that Blakely got this free kick. I heard over his head, you got to learn how to kick the footy. I was listening to the announcers. I don't fully understand why he got this free kick. Blakey got it. They said it was on port, and it was something about kicking over the head. That's what I heard. That's what I was trying to figure out, so please help me out in that area as well. But Blakey getting that free kick, I mean, boom, now we're up 64-58. This is going to be amazing. We're taking this game. No way they're going to lose this game. And then this happened. We're going to get into this right now. We're going to get into this final thing right now. And this is where Aliir gets to be, he's got to be player of the round. The entire round, he's got to be the player of that. Let's get into this right now. This last little 30 seconds here. Florence kick, which everybody knew was going to happen. Watch the Swans crowd go crazy when he kicks it. Everybody knew it was going in until it didn't. Let's go.
Can have a shot to win the game. The emotion, the drama, you can't write the script on this.
Oh, what about the kick from Brampy to Heaney to Florence? Florence been huge all night. He will kick after the siren.
Oh man, this was huge. This was huge.
32 disposals. The siren's going to sound to win the game for Sydney on the final siren.
After the siren. Oh, Lear, what a play. What a play. You got to, I mean, what a play.
Did it make the distance? The siren's going to sound to win the game for Sydney on the...
Right there, everybody knows it's going in. Watch the crowd. Everybody knows. Until it didn't. Aliir comes out of nowhere and just puts the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake of a great game by Aliir. Great game by both teams. Amazing. Wow. Guys. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. What a block. Flawless. Flawless. So, guys, in this game, look at Florida. They can't even believe it. Everybody knew that was going to be good. What an amazing match. What an amazing match. So, we had a lot of questions in this game for me. I needed some help and feedback from you guys. Again, I appreciate all your support as I'm learning this game as I'm going along. Learning this game and all the great Aussies that have been helping me out. Much, much appreciated to the guys. And you guys know who you are. And I really appreciate you guys that are with me every week and dropping comments in the comments down below. You'll also find the snippet of this, the link for it, right in the comments down below. Subscribe, bell notice, like button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Much appreciated. I'm Johnny Basement, and I am out.